This just in. How exactly do you convince people to pay $12 a month for a glorified spell checker? If you are a massive tech company, you just quietly steal the identities of famous writers and rent them out to the public. According to a highly entertaining article by Victor Tungerman at Futurism, the writing assistant Grammarly recently launched an expert review feature that infuriated the entire journalism industry. The software actively impersonated living and dead writers without their permission, claiming to offer writing suggestions inspired by their specific voices. Everyone assumes that artificial intelligence is going to steal our jobs, but it turns out the tech billionaires are actually just going to steal our reputations first. Before you sign up for another premium software subscription, we need to look at the hilarious absurdity of this corporate identity theft and why your verified, undeniable human authenticity is the only thing protecting your consulting business from the exact same scam. To start, why did a tech company try to rent out Stephen King? Because teaching a robot to write well is incredibly difficult, but stealing a famous person's reputation is incredibly easy. Grammarly claimed their new tool would take your writing to the next level by making suggestions inspired by leading professionals. They locked this feature behind a $12 a month pro subscription. But they forgot to actually ask any of those leading professionals if they wanted to be turned into a corporate chatbot. The backlash was immediate and explosive. Tech journalist Kara Swisher, whose identity was actively hijacked by the software, publicly seized at the company, calling them rapacious information and identity thieves. She promised to go full McConaughey on them, which is a terrifying legal threat. But the massive legal and ethical nightmare was only half the problem. Were the fake experts even any good at writing? No, they were terrible at it, because a language model does not actually know what words mean. The feature left much to be desired, highlighting the persistent, hilarious pain points that plague all these massive language models. To test the system, author and copy editor Benjamin Dreyer copy-pasted several paragraphs of lorem ipsum into the software. Lorem ipsum, for those who don't know, is literal dummy placeholder text commonly used in graphic design. It means absolutely nothing. The artificial intelligence confidently analyzed this gibberish and proudly offered him writing tips from the venerable novelist Stephen King. It could do this because the software was not actually providing expert review. It was just hallucinating corporate buzzwords while wearing a famous author's skin. So how did the company plan to get away with this massive deception? Well, to answer that, we need to consider the cowardice of the corporate fine print, because they tried to have it both ways, and they got caught. Grammarly wanted to directly profit from the implication that these prominent writers were associated with their product, but to avoid getting sued into oblivion, they buried a massive disclaimer deep in their software documentation. Tech reporter Casey Newton spotted the fine print, which stated that references from these experts were for informational purposes only and did not indicate any actual affiliation or endorsement. They were fully aware that they were faking human authenticity. Casey Newton even found a virtual version of himself handing out writing advice on the platform. He noted that he always assumed AI might take his job, but he figured someone would at least tell him when it happened. So how do you protect your consulting business from identity thieves? Well, you have to make your actual human personality completely impossible to replicate. Grammarly's CEO eventually apologized and disabled the feature, admitting that they fell short. But this scandal proves a terrifying reality for your small service business. Massive tech companies know that automated generic robot text is completely worthless. They know that clients only want to hear from verified, trusted human experts. That is exactly why they tried to steal those human identities and sell them for $12 a month. Your human authenticity is the most expensive commodity on the internet. If your website copy is currently stuffed with flawless, boring corporate jargon, you sound exactly like that dummy text that Grammarly's fake Stephen King was trying to edit. Your potential clients are desperately looking for a real person. You have to strip the robot speak out of your funnels immediately. And that's a great reason to get my 5-minute marketing fix. It helps you identify the exact spots where your messaging sounds like a hallucinating chatbot, so you can replace it with the undeniable human clarity your clients are actually willing to pay for. Stop losing sales today. Download the fix in the description below or go to strategicmarketingtribe.com/fix and get it for free. But what about you? What is the most hilariously cringe-worthy attempt you have ever seen from a massive corporation trying to sound like a relatable human online? I'll go first. I still cringe thinking about the time McDonald's tweeted about their existential dread just to sell more chicken nuggets. Okay, your turn. When did a corporation completely fail the humanity test? Let me know in the comments. I'm Vicky Sidler from the Strategic Marketing Tribe, and I post helpful news updates for small businesses every day.